everybody. I've got myself a tea. Sorry, but just take a second to fucking look at what this mug says. By the way, my mum's name is Mel. Everyone knows a Mel. She's usually fucking awesome. That's the mug. Like, this is the shit that people buy it for her birthday because she's that person. Anyway, I've got my peppermint and ginger tea. I've got my sunset lamp on. I've put my lights up. I've got my candles on. I was playing some music before, but I'm going to talk, so obviously not going to have any music in the background. But today I'm going to be talking about manifesting, spirituality, advice. I did put it on my Instagram story and I've written some questions down in my journal to answer, and I've gone through each question and answered with like little dot points to keep because I've got some key concepts, but that's pretty much the gist of what I'm going to be doing today. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Okay, so if you're watching this, I would love for you guys to grab a midnight snack, grab a tea, grab whatever. I want this video to feel like a warm hug. Question number 1 was, how do you know if you are happy? My first thought when it came to this question was like, what is the point in even knowing that? What does that give you? Not really anything, right? Like, why do you need to know that, you know? I think there's a large focus on happiness and that being the main goal rather than like inner peace. But I think we should focus more on inner peace because there's not a polar opposite with happiness as like depression and sadness, and it's so easy to stumble back to that and think you've failed as soon as you take one step back from happiness. As soon as you fall behind a little bit, you feel like you've failed at life. But with inner peace, it's being able to deal with different struggles, feel happy, feel good, feel shit, accept that and move on. So that's more of the point. I don't know if you're happy. I think happiness looks different for everybody. I get different happiness compared to lots of you guys, but it's usually not something you have to know. It's something you kind of feel. If you feel like there's not a worry in the world, or you just feel joy, that's usually when you know you feel happy. I don't know if you're a happy person kind of comes from being grateful and practicing gratitude and being really thankful for what you already have in order to attract new stuff. But I think there should be more of a focus on inner peace. I kind of didn't really answer the question, but anyway. What time of your life did you start practicing spirituality and why? I think usually people get like their spiritual practices when something happens in their life, something traumatizing or depressive or whatever, which is kind of what happened to me. I just went through a dark time when I was like 16, 17. I needed to find another way out. I kind of took a step back and I was like, what the hell am I doing? What is the point of everything? In a happy way, not in like a what is the point, like a what the fuck is the point of the world? So in year 11, I watched a documentary on Netflix called The Secret, which I would recommend if you want to start getting into manifesting and spirituality. It pretty much just talks about how manifesting works and how it just blew my mind when I first watched it, which is where it all started, pretty much with my manifesting. But I guess I've always kind of been a deep little girl, like not really overly deep, but like as soon as I kind of got into high school, I always delved deeply into things and like loved talking about my emotions and stuff like that. But yeah, watching that Netflix documentary really changed my mind, and like it drew me into something that into a spirituality that I've never really looked into before, which is manifesting. I thought that was pretty cool because I felt like I never really belonged somewhere. Like I liked star signs, I liked astrology, but I was like, it's not gravitating me fully. And then manifesting was my thing. And I think that when you feel really natural and it's really organic, when you're drawn to something, that's when it would work the best for you. Don't try and force yourself to manifest, even if you don't even think it's for you. But yeah, that's when I started. How do you start? I think the best way to start is to just like buy a book on manifesting. I can recommend some. So my first book recommendation on manifesting is Make It Happen. I'll put that there. And also The Power of Now. And if you're more into like a money sort of thing, there's also a book that I've gotten recently that's really cool, which is Manifesting Money. But just reading about it, and like, or you could, if you're not so much of a reader, watching the Netflix thing I said, listening to podcasts. Start with something, like buy a book, look into it, find ways you can educate yourself on it. It's not as big and scary as you really think. Like to me, it was always like, oh, I could never do that because it seems like a really big thing to do, and really, as soon as you start reading a book, you might become more fascinated and it will come really naturally. And they give you exercises in the book of what to do. That was pretty much how I started. The start of the Make It Happen book, she pretty much says write 5 intentions and just write a list of 5 things that you want to achieve in your lifetime. It doesn't have to be big dramatic things like shoot for the stars, literally think about anything. Yeah, just start with that. It could be, I want $10,000 in my bank account, or I want to be in a loving relationship. Start with 5 intentions, and pretty much the secret to manifesting, it's what I learned from the Make It Happen book, is that it's an equation of 4 things. It's thoughts, emotions, action, and faith. Thinking the thoughts, feeling that emotion behind it and what it would feel like to actually feel what you are manifesting. Look for opportunities, take a step, do things that will get you in the right direction, and then just having no doubt. That pretty much is the whole. That is the equation to manifesting, and that really helped me because it put it in short terms and I was like, fuck, that's literally all it is. That's all I have to do. But of course, having no doubt and thinking them as much as you can and talking back to negative self-talk is really hard, but I worked on it and I've been doing it for a while now, so it seems to be working for me. So just give it a go, just start, just do it. What is the best thing I manifested? Was unemployed for a while. I manifested the best job of my life that I will ever have, but it was an awesome job. It was like awesome pay, really flexible hours, quite an easy job, and just like great. It was like the people really good. I was with my friend doing it. Like it was just fucking awesome. And every single day that I journal, I manifest as well. It's part of my journaling routine. And just one day, like it took me a week, and then an opportunity came up and I was like, what the fuck? And it blew my brain. But even just manifesting the small stuff like car spots or $10. I actually want to write a list of the stuff that I manifested because it makes me giggle. It just proves to me that it works as well. Do you have doubts? No, I think doubt comes from fear, and fear is just something that will absolutely destroy you. And I try and do all I can never to have doubt, because the whole aim of manifesting is to completely have faith that that will happen, and doubt will just destroy everything. Not feeling doubt can be really hard sometimes, but I always just bring myself to the now, and I'm like, why am I even thinking about that? Look where I am now. I know I will get there, and I just have trained my self-talk to be really positive. And I think that's not easy, but if I can do it, you can do it, because I've struggled with lots of negative self-talk before, but I promise you can get to a point where everything is really positive. So the next question is angel number meaning / what it represents to you. So I don't know if you know, I have this, can you see, tattooed on my neck. Look, to be honest, it looks really cool. It's so satisfying. I see it on Tumblr, it just is really pretty. But when I was going through a really weird time this year, I just kept seeing it everywhere, and I just kept taking photos of it every time. But 222 to me, it pretty much means that I'm on the right path. Everything is going to work out, and it's like a super hopeful angel number meaning. 777 is usually like the lovers, but I always see 222, and it just like makes me feel comfortable. I don't know how to describe that feeling, but I feel safe when I see 222. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be okay. It's actually crazy. Intuition versus anxiety. So how to compare, how to know which is which. Usually intuition is really physical and there's no thought behind it. With anxiety, that kind of comes from, like I said before, fear, guilt, doubt, all that sort of stuff. That becomes more of a gradual feeling, like the thoughts get bigger and bigger and bigger. But with intuition, it's kind of something you feel instantly, and it's a really physical gut feeling. Always trust your intuition. I think if you do feel like it's starting to be an anxious thought, that's kind of when you know, even if you're contemplating it, because with my intuitions, I never contemplate it. And to be honest, sometimes I am wrong and sometimes it is anxiety, but anxiety is usually an emotional thing first, and then it turns physical, into physical like nausea or something like that, because it's anxiety, not intuition. But that is really hard to identify, because I know lots of people struggle with that. But where to begin? Literally anywhere. Like I've said, books, conversations, DM someone that you know is into manifesting or into spirituality and learn from them. I've learned from so many people. I have awesome friends. So I've been around this stuff for ages, but creating connections as much as you can. I would say journaling every day has really helped me not only know myself, but figure out stuff I want and take a step outside of my brain and just write thoughts out loud without feeling them anymore, because the more I feel when I write, the more draining and the more of a chore it becomes. But podcasts, like I said, I think everyone in the world should buy The Power of Now. Like an absolute, like if you wanted to start somewhere, I would read that. You can start whenever. Just be consistent is what I would say as well. That leads perfectly into the next question, which is key to consistency. Just show up for yourself. It's such a beautiful, personal, private experience. And I think, why wouldn't you want to feed that? Yeah, make it really pleasant. Like I usually do it in my morning routine. I have my coffee, I have my book, I have my journal, or I'll drive somewhere or walk somewhere and take that with me because it's such an exciting part of my day. And some days I don't feel like doing it. Today I didn't want to journal, so I didn't journal because I don't want to make it feel like a chore. I think with manifesting as well, when you see results, that gives you motivation to keep going, and that's what makes you consistent. Just make it part of that routine, that subconscious routine. You pick, literally now I just pick my journal everywhere I go. Like even when I've got my nanny, I'll take my journal just in case. If I get bored, I can write in it, you know? My favorite affirmation. So every morning when I finish, I usually write like a blurb about how I'm feeling, gratitude list, and then I do my manifesting. And I start my manifesting with, I don't chase, I attract. What belongs to me will simply find me. I'm a magnet for all that is good in this universe. Love comes easily to me. Full stop. Then I continue with I am statements of stuff I'm feeling at the moment. If I'm lacking with confidence, all right, I am confident, I'm independent, I'm fearless. I'll write a few of those. And then you can write, like I said before, a day in the life is really helpful. Understanding why you want the things you want, and then doing a journal entry like it's already happened. That's usually what I do. How do you manifest? Like I just said before, well, in both the books I have, it gives me exercises. The You Are a Badass at Making Money and the Make It Happen. It literally gives you a step-by-step guide on like little things you can do to manifest, if that will help you. Just like writing blurbs, like just pretending stuff has happened, speaking in the present tense of like I've already gotten what I wanted. Just every single day I do that, and it's just, it works. Clearly, is this camera blurry? Are you kidding me? Practice, I would just say gratitude as well is how I manifest, because that is a great recipe for manifesting, and reading the books. When you're feeling anxious / overwhelmed, how do you use spiritual practices to clear your mind? Whenever I feel anxious, that's when I know I'm not in the present, because I'm usually thinking about something that happened or is happening. So the first thing I do is put a stop sign in my brain, and I just stop where I am, no matter where I am, feel every cell in my body, and just come back to the present. Really slow my nervous system down. I let myself feel what I'm feeling. If it's anger, I will watch that anger rise and step outside of my mind for a second and look at those thoughts as anger and not part of me. If it's anxiety, I will stop and say 5 things I can see, 4 things I can hear, 3 things I can feel, 2 things I can smell, 1 thing I can taste. Feeling your senses to bring yourself back to the now, and just talk about it. If someone's with you, be brave, talk about it, get it out of your system, write it out. Just constantly coming back to the now, because I always ask myself when I'm anxious, what is lacking in this moment? Nothing is always the answer, and that really helps me. Daily habits, journaling, gratitude lists, and then my manifesting. Consciously observing my thoughts and thinking whether or not they're real, and being like, is that fear talking to me? Is that anger? Is that my pain? And not making it part of me. Not taking stuff personally, because literally everyone's life is a projection of their own. So if someone goes mad at me that day, I just go, oh, that's a shame. They're not having a great life at the moment. And I don't take it personally, and I walk away. I try not to make assumptions. If someone gives me an off tone, I don't automatically think, oh, they hate me because I did this. Because you can just bring evidence to anything that is happening. Our brains are amazing at that. So I just try and realize, oh, I just made an assumption that's not true. Accept that I did that, move on. Staying motivated to manifest, as I said, do it when you feel most present as well, because that's when you usually will attract the best things for you. Like when you feel the most calm, that's when I would say journal and manifest. But when you see those results, you'll get really motivated. That's always happens to me. And just like fully believing that you know what's going to happen makes my faith stronger as well. And like seeing little things happen, and I'm like, you got my back, universe. The next question is, are you intuitive? I would say when I'm really present and in control, I am. I think most of my friends are, but when I know something's not okay, my body will tell me instantly, and I've got myself out of a lot of situations just from my intuition where I've been like, nope, and I will not take anything else for an answer. That's all the questions. I hope you enjoyed this. I just hope you take away the key concepts of being in the present will change your life because you realize nothing ever is lacking in the current moment. I hope you all read The Power of Now because that's literally changed my life. The author of that book, I watch his YouTube videos and they're fucking amazing. His name's Eckhart Tolle. I would recommend you watch them once you read the book as well to keep up with it. Don't make assumptions. Don't take things personally. I think I already said that. You can literally manifest whatever the fuck you want. And that's proof. Okay. I love you guys. Thank you for watching. This was fun to film, and I just wanted to say that I'm so grateful for the people that have sent me DMs about this as well and been interested in me talking about it, because I'm like, wow, you trust me? You trust me? Because I don't realize I speak about it that much, but obviously I do because I've gotten a few DMs. I'm not trying to say that I'm literally a popular YouTuber and being like, I have literally fans. I don't, but I weirdly have received a few DMs about my spirituality, which I'm like so happy to talk about. No, that's why this is happening. I hope I can like get more into this later and that people can learn from me and I can learn from people. Hashtag I love you, Eckhart. I want to meet you. Bye guys.